Hello, and thank you for viewing my new video. I'm starting off with a white matte nail. I'm going to take the largest stencil that I have on here, slowly try to peel it off with tweezers. Once I get it peeled off, there's these little insert inside the stencil that you have to get out. And this takes me a few minutes to make sure that I evenly get each little piece out. I think this was the most time-consuming thing out of this whole part of making this pumpkin with this stencil. Okay, once I have that done, I'm going to make sure it's centered on the middle of the nail. And I gently push it down with my finger. And then I'm going to grab a silicone tool, like a silicone rubber edge, and just make sure it's really, really firmly stuck. So this way, when you use the airbrush machine, you make sure that the stencil is completely flat. It's really important because when you spray it, then the color can go underneath the stencil and you won't have the perfect pumpkin. Just rub every little corner, every edge, the center. Make sure all the lines are down flat. Okay, and I use a little plate just to make sure that my silicone mat that's down doesn't get dirty when I do the airbrush. And I just grab a paper towel and just test it out just to make sure on the paper towel real quick that it's coming out correctly and even. So I do one try with the machine, and I did not love the way it came out. It was a little like blotchy in spots, so I end up wiping it off and redoing it again. The second time it came out perfect. It was completely even. I think the first time I was too close, so when you just make sure that you're using the airbrush machine, make sure that you're far enough away. So now I'm slowly, while it's still wet, actually I am cleaning it off first before I slowly take it off. I'm just cleaning up anything around the stencil to make sure that there's no orange just around it before I pull it off. And I'm using acetone and a cleanup brush. And now with my tweezers, I'm just going to slowly pull it off. And again, this is still wet. I did not cure it yet. And then I noticed when I took it off, there was a little bit underneath the stencil. So I'm going to wipe that up again with acetone. Because if you leave any kind of polish on there and you cure it, it's going to be stuck and you're not going to be able to get it off. So you want to make sure you clean up anything that's on the white part before you cure it. Okay, now I'm going to cure it first. As soon as I'm completely cleaned up, I'm going to cure it for 60 seconds. I didn't like the way the one line looked, so I cleaned that up too. Okay, now it's all cured, and I'm going back in with the same color and just going over the lines one more time just to make them a little bit darker. And now that I have my guidelines, it's much easier to trace or shape the pumpkin correctly. Now everybody's showing all these pumpkin videos, and it makes it look really, really super easy to draw a pumpkin. And I can draw a pumpkin, but it's not always the easiest thing to do. So for beginners, this is the best way. And if you don't have an airbrush machine, you could always use the Pat gel with a sponge, and you could just slowly pat it over the stencil. That could be another way if you don't have the airbrush machine. They do sell the airbrush machines on Shein and Temu for a pretty decent price. That's where I got mine. And I just used regular nail polish mixed with acetone. I did not use special airbrush paints for this. I used a D&D color. So after I fill that in, I'm going to, again, cure it for 60 seconds, and then I'm going to top coat it, and I'm just going to top coat the line. So I'm putting the top coat on one of my little dishes, and I'm going to take a little brush and just go over the orange lines because I want the white to still be matte. Again, curing it for 60 seconds, and that's it. Thank you so much for viewing my video. I'm going to have a lot of beginner-friendly tutorials on this channel. Thank you.